Hello and welcome to Gary's Scaries. I am Gary, and if you've missed any of the episodes leading up to this one, I do recommend you go back and watch them. The links to those are in the description below. And while you're there, you might as well hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss another one. My spirit of choice tonight while talking about spirits is a caramel apple vodka. But wait, prepare yourself, because I'm about to take everything I've already told you and turn it upside down. Cheers.
Gary, talk to me.
Before our house was ready to move into, we lived in what was called a B house. Now this is much like a duplex where there's two families in the same building, but this is all on one floor. In fact, that was ours right there. I remember sitting on the living room floor when the front door opened and in came what I thought were a bunch of witches. I ran for the dining table and hid underneath as they came in and circled around the table and started reaching in for me. Now, this was probably just a nightmare. Fast forward a couple of years and we are living in our new home, and I'm in my bedroom when in come what I called a bunch of army men. They did the same thing that the witches did. They surrounded my bed and they started reaching out for me. My bed was in a corner, so as they came in, I would hide between the wall and the bed, and I would end up waking up there the next morning. Then when I was in high school, I started seeing owls a lot. This one night, I was being called out to our barn. Now, it wasn't an audible come out here. It was more of an internal feeling of I had to go out there for some reason. And I wasn't even scared at the time. I just knew I had to go out to the barn.
Now, at that time, this barn was a lot smaller than that. It was the middle section, was the only part that was there, and it was open on this end. So when you stood right here, you would look directly in at the bales of hay in there. And that's when I saw something moving. And this huge, huge white owl came flying out right towards my head and just swooped right above me. And I would go in there right now if I wasn't just a little bit too freaked out.
Not long after that, I had started school at the community college about 40 miles from my house. I used to act in a bunch of plays in college, and this one night after a cast party, I was heading home and I was on the freeway when this giant owl came out of nowhere and flew right towards the windshield of my car. I thought I might have hit it, so I pulled over really quick and looked around, and there was no bird to be seen. But when I got home, I had talked to a friend that I had hung out with at the party, and he was already home, so I thought, oh, he must have left soon after I did. He proceeded to tell me that I left the party a long time ago. So a trip that should have taken me 45 minutes ended up taking me about 2 hours and 45 minutes. Many of you already know where I'm going with this. Experiencers of alien abductions often report seeing owls around the same time. They also report having periods of missing time. It was kind of freaking me out a little bit, so I just stopped thinking about it. Until I had this dream, where I was taken aboard what seemed like a spacecraft, and I was introduced to what I was told was my daughter. She had blonde hair, large green eyes. I believe that whoever created the Bratz dolls has also had a similar experience. I was told that she was going to be fine, but she wanted to meet me. When I woke up, I just kind of laughed at myself and thought, wow, Gary, that was weird. But then, I was on a walk with my mom. It was late at night, and the sky was filled with stars. And she had said to me, don't you wish that they would just come and take you? And I was like, what? And that she's always wanted aliens to come take her and show her around the universe. And then she told me about this cigar-shaped UFO she saw as a child right out front of their house, just hovering up above. And although I thought it was kind of weird that she was telling me all this around the same time that I'd been experiencing things, I just kind of let it go until she told me about a dream she had where she was taken aboard a spaceship and she was introduced to her granddaughter who had blonde hair and large, pretty eyes. This made me very nervous. I had just been reading about how alien abductions usually happen within the family line. And even now, there are two of my nephews who make comments that make me wonder if it's carrying on. One of them, who is scared to death of the alien face, the typical large head, big eyes, and gray complexion. He even had a nightmare the night before he was going over to my childhood home for Christmas. He dreamt that there was an alien in the bedroom with him. He actually sat up and started talking in his sleep, saying, "No, no, no," which reminded me of a dream that I had when there was an alien in my bedroom, and I actually got up out of bed and started chasing it down, saying, "I see you, I see you." And then I woke up out of it going, "What am I doing?" And I went back to bed. The other nephew has seen more UFOs than he should, and he also has a lump right behind his ear like I do. And I often tease that that is our implant that the aliens keep track of us with. I used to think that my obsession with collecting different owl items came from my mother, who did the same thing. But sometimes I think, did we both start collecting these because we were seeing them a lot? Recently, I wanted to document all of the owl experiences, so I was writing them all out, and when I finished, I took Tabitha out for a walk. And when we got outside, there was an owl across the street making all this noise. And I just thought, oh my God, that's weird. So we walked up the street, and when we were just about ready to turn around and walk back, I heard the owl again, directly across from us. So it had been following us up the street. So we got back to the house, we were going up the steps, and again it started making noise from directly across the street. And then you could hear it kind of fading out, it was getting further and further away. And I just thought it was so bizarre that right after I finished writing all this out, we go outside and there's owls. Now, I'm not saying that I'm a victim of all these paranormal things happening to me. What I'm getting at is, I think it's all connected. From the ghosts to the aliens, whatever all this may be, I think they're one and the same. Now, I know I said in the previous video that this next one was going to be the last of this series. I was wrong. There's one more coming. You won't have to wait long, because it comes out tomorrow. Until then, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and...
Boom.